it is hard to look at that situation and really understand it. And it's horrible to look back at it now and know that we didn't do anything about it. But what can we do with it? How can we apply this to everyday life? Because I agree with you. You got to go down swinging. And I'll tell you this. If you fight with all you've got, more often than not, you won't go down at all. You win. But you gotta make that attitude part of your everyday life. The extra rep, the extra mile, the extra round, the right choices to make yourself stronger mentally and physically. Stand and fight. Fight against weakness and against fear. And fight against time and decay. Fight back. Go down swinging. And give every day everything you've got. And when you face a challenge, even something where you don't believe you can win, maybe it's a situation where you cannot win. But if you can't win, remember this. You have nothing to lose. So stand up and go forward and go out in a blaze of glory. Fighting with everything you've got, every ounce of energy, every bead of sweat, and every drop of blood. Till your last breath. And then, and only then, you can stand down. And you can put down your sword. You can put down your shield. And rest. In peace. What causes that switch to flip? The overdrive. The full-on destroyer. It's a thing that allows you to go the extra distance, to dig just a little bit deeper and push a little harder, get after it. So when it doesn't make sense, logical sense to go on, that's when you got to use your emotion. That's when you got to use that anger, that frustration, that fear to push yourself harder, to push yourself to say, I don't stop. You got to override that emotion with the concrete logic and willpower. You fight the weak emotions with the power of logic, and you fight the weakness of logic with the power of emotions. And in the balance of those two, that's where you find the strength and the tenacity to say to yourself, I don't stop.
I see something that's quite off, quite not the same, and that's what I go for. This book is exactly who I am as a person. Exactly the way I did this book is how I've done almost my entire life. Mm-hmm. Is I see what is not the norm, what's impossible, what all the theorists say you shouldn't be doing this. That's the wrong way to go. And I'm like, let me see if I can pull this shit off. There was no driven message with me trying to prove people wrong or whatever. It was 100% by me wanting to own my life. There's a lot of people I know that I speak with right now that have nice book deals out there, and the people who buy their book with their publishing house, they can't even talk some of this stuff, in like in speaking engagements. And I'm like, what? You can't even talk your story? And some of these, they're like, no, I got to make sure that they're aware of it. And I'm like, no, man, I want to own 100% of the suffering I went through in my life. I don't want anybody telling me, hey, Goggins, you can't say this. I would lose my shit. What? I suffered this badly, and you gonna fucking tell me I can't say this? There've been all kind of problems with that one. Uh-huh. So I made sure that I wanted to own all of Can't Hurt Me, and own all of my own life story. So that's what it really is all about. Well, I think it's important to do things you don't like, and I was very ashamed of my life story for a long time. I didn't want to go out and tell anybody shit about me. So that's why I had two people. I had created one David Goggins and one Goggins.
Right.
And I didn't want people to know that I had all these issues. But after a while, people start to give you these different taglines, you know, like you're superhuman, you're amazing. I'm like, you fuckers don't know anything about me, man. Like, I'm this insecure kid. And I started realizing there's a lot of people out here who are going through a lot of problems that I once tapped into. You know, I had a whole bunch of issues growing up. And, you know, I felt compelled to just, you know what? You got to start sharing this stuff, man, because people see where you're at today. They see where you're at today. They see the man you are today, this rock hard human being. Show these people where you come from.
Right.
Show these people it's possible. We have a moment where we stop because we're like 6 or 7, you know, 6, 7, 8, where I start doing all these crazy feats and start going way beyond human limits for myself. And I tell people, while you're hearing this, I know you guys have already forgotten about how I came up. Don't forget the torture I endured mentally and physically in my own mind, going through all this shit. So don't ever forget that. So people forget that so quickly when they get to that 7, 8, 9, 10 chapters. Well, everything I do, I try to do my very best. And now that I'm out here trying to share this story with people, I want to be so real and so fucking authentic to the point where it was embarrassing to me. As I was writing some stuff and I was giving it to Adam and we were going back and forth, I'm like, man, I was talking to my fiance, do I really want people to fucking know this about me? I had to show people I was human. You know, people didn't think I was human. They thought I came from outer space, man, from some spacecraft and shit and landed down here and just formed Goggins from the rocks and the soul of the earth. No, that's not how it is, man. So I said, I'm gonna share a secret with you all. It's a big division because when I talk to people, like I see where I'm at today, but I know where I come from. And it's kind of hard to almost separate that. I'm almost, not in a way I'm kissing my own ass, but I'm amazed at what a human being can actually do. So when I start talking to myself in the third person, it's strictly because I know that I literally made this human being out of just like a whole bunch of scraps. And I wasn't, you know, I wasn't a mechanic. I wasn't a carpenter, so I didn't know how to do any of this shit. You know, I wasn't trained in how to build a human being from nothing. You know, like my mom didn't train me, my dad didn't train me, life didn't train me. Well, life did train me.
Yeah.
Life did train me, correction. And I started putting this scrap metal together. I'm like, I wonder what the fuck's gonna happen. You know, the first year I tried to do was all fucked up. And after a while, I started learning more and more and more through pain and suffering. I started learning so much about stuff. Before I knew it, man, I built this beautiful car. I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? And I knew how, and I know how to do it because I have all the tools through all the failure I went through trying to build this person who's Goggins.